Hey guys, Yoni here from GeekSlam. This episode is episode 1 of the GeekSlam Podcast, going up on YouTube and on geekslampodcast.blogspot.com. So, yeah, this is the first episode of our weekly podcast, hopefully, or maybe every week and a half or 2 weeks. Gonna try and get it to be done as often as we can, as much as once per week. But, yeah, we'll let you know with updates on the podcast blog. So, my guest today is a member of the GeekSlam crew, or staff, whatever you want to call it. It's Ashley. Do you want to say hello, Ashley?
Hello, I'm Ashley, and I used to do Windows-related videos for GeekSlam.
Yeah, and he's going to have some more coming up soon, hopefully. So, yeah. So what we're going to be talking about today in this first episode, we're going to talk a little bit about how excited we are and what's going to, what our ideas of what's going to be happening at the Apple event on Tuesday, September the 12th is. And afterwards we're going to have a chat about, how we run the website and how it all goes on the YouTube and everything. So, yeah. So, Ashley, what are your... what do you think is going to happen on the event?
Well, first of all, let's talk about the event, the invitation. It's got the shadow of a 5, and to be honest, some people are saying it's because they say it's the iPhone 5, but, well, the iPhone 4S was the 5th generation iPhone, so I don't think they're going to call it that. So instead, I think they're going to release 5 new products.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying on Twitter when the invitations went out. I was just reading through Twitter, and then Colton Mac posted a tweet saying Apple invitations for the 12th of September event have gone out, and then about 20 seconds later, everyone else had a post up already, really fast. So there was one from Techno Buffalo, 9 to 5. Even we did one, but like half an hour after everyone, of course. But yeah, I honestly think there's going to be 5 new products. I was tweeting about it on the day, sometime a few days ago. I was saying there's going to be a new iPod Nano, a new iPod Touch, a new iPod Shuffle, a new iPhone, and probably the iPad Mini. If it's not an iPod Shuffle, which I wouldn't mind if they dropped it, because I barely use mine anymore, only on the bus to and from school. It's not something I really use because I've already got my computer and my iPad to use for listening to music, and it's the same for a lot of people. So if they drop the iPod Shuffle, if there is 5 new things coming out, iOS 6 will definitely be one of them. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, well, I've been thinking, recently at WWDC in June, the Mac laptops were updated, but not the desktops. So, of course, 2 of those products, in my mind, are going to be the Mac Mini and the iMac.
Maybe just like the whole desktop range will be updated. I'm not sure. There's been a lot of rumours about separate events for desktop, which would be better. But they were saying that on a couple of blogs, they were saying that maybe the iPhone is going to share the event with some new iPod Touches, or a new iPod Touch and an iPod Nano. So yeah, have you seen the rumours about the bigger iPod Touch and the bigger iPod Nano?
Yeah, I saw that I saw the rumours that they're going to make I saw some rumours that the new iPod Nano are going to be similar to the 5th or 4th generation, with the screen and the click wheel. And instead of the Nano 6th generation design with the touch screen.
Yeah, the touchscreen design, it was a good idea, but it was just too small for people to use. For a lot of people, you had to kind of bring it close, and it wasn't really practical since most fingers were bigger than, most people's fingers were the size of the screen. So what the current rumours are, there's been a couple of mock-ups and renders of it that people have done. They actually look like something I would want to buy, even though it's an Apple product, mock-up. But it looks pretty interesting. It's a bit taller, slightly wider, and it's got a home button, and it would have Wi-Fi, so you can just download stuff from iTunes and the App Store, maybe. So a couple of apps will be available for the iPod Nano, the smaller one. So fitness apps, clock apps, etc. So that would be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, that would be quite interesting. Now, if we go on to the iPhone itself, we've heard rumours of a 4-inch screen. And to be honest,
that's the strongest rumour over the past 5 or 6 months. That's been the strongest, and that's what I think is going to happen.
To be honest, so do I. I mean, the only phones with smaller screens than the iPhone is the Blackberries, and
yeah, because they don't have touchscreens.
yeah. So really,
only a couple of them do, and they're all 3.5 inch. Anyway.
Yeah. So in the current market, a 3.5 inch touchscreen isn't big enough. So I don't think
it certainly isn't.
Yeah, I do think they're going to upgrade it to a 4-inch screen. Also,
yeah.
Did you see the mock-up of the 8 or 19 pin connectors?
I saw the mock-ups of the 8 pins. Yeah.
Yeah, I also heard that they might be.
We actually have a post on it up. If I just go into the posts page for GeekSlam, we did actually do a post about it. If I just open it up. Yeah, so was that the cable you're talking about, or the actual connector on the bottom of the iPhone?
Well, it's really the same thing, isn't it? One plugs into the other.
Yeah.
And I do think we're going to see that. And then we'll see it on the iPod Touch and Nano if they release that. And then next February we'll see it on the iPad 4. Or new iPad, or whatever they're going to call it.
Yeah.
I think that's
I'm just trying to scroll through all the posts and trying to find it. There's a lot of posts on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm just going to run through all the specs. Well, not the specs, but the rumoured specs of the new iPhone. So it's probably going to have an altered A5X processor, and we heard about this quite a long time ago, actually.
Yeah.
It must have been June or something. 4-inch screen. No idea what the resolution is going to be, but
I think it's going to be
proper.
I heard
16:9.
I heard recently it's something going to be something by 640, like 640p, which would be.
No, it wouldn't be, because the current one will play back in 720p, but this one should have proper 16:9 dimensions or resolution. So yeah, that's the screen. It's not going to have NFC because there's been rumours of that, but that's just people's fantasies.
Well, they
it's not
did release
for a long time.
Well, I think it will have NFC because of that Passbook application announced with iOS 6.
Yeah, the whole point though is like you can just show it to someone like as coupons, but in your phone, because coupons are so easy to lose. And I mean, you're not going to lose your phone if you've got an iPhone 5 or whatever it's going to be called. But yeah, so we've got that.
Yeah.
We have seen some other rumours about the headphone jack moving to the bottom.
Yeah.
And speaking of the bottom of it, we're going to see hopefully an 8 or a 9 pin dot connector. Already the cables have been manufactured and they're thinner, and there's been a ton of adapters being made, so hopefully we'll be able to see that. I mean, there was a fake rumour. I thought it was absolutely spectacular, not because someone faked it, but because it looked so real that I almost believed it for a minute. Someone faked a page on the Apple website. Never actually went up on the Apple website, but what it was a mock-up picture of the adapter for it and the cable for it, and it said this is suitable with the 7th generation iPod Nano, you know, the 5th generation iPod Touch, the 6th generation iPhone, etc. So I think that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Going back to the chipset, GSM Arena has a rumour of an A6 instead of a different A5X, because the A5X had
true.
the quad-core graphics, and to be honest, even with 4 inches, a screen like that wouldn't be possible wouldn't require quad-core, would it?
No,
for
yeah,
graphics.
that's true. But we'll have to see. I mean, the new iPad still does kind of struggle with the graphics, even though it's got quad-core graphics and a dual-core processor. The screen does. I have seen some frame rate issues with it, just in the past month or so, because they're getting older. They're like half a year old, and it does take a lot for that screen to be powered. So maybe the iPhone will have to use something with quad-core graphics on it.
Yeah. One rumour I heard, even before the iPhone 4S was announced, that maybe that they might do memory changes, like hard drive changes. They might drop the 16 gig and have a base model of 32 gig, and the highest model will be 128 gigs. And if you think
that's not going to happen on an iPhone, though.
Yeah.
I mean, on an iPod Touch or something, it would make sense, even though it only goes up to 64 gigabytes. Because a lot of files, the games are becoming more graphics hungry, so they need to take up more space. You know, files are becoming increasingly larger. So I can understand that, but I think they would still need to have like an 8 or a 16 gigabyte model iPhone as the base model, just for simple users, people that just use the phone as a phone, and have like an iPod or an iPad separately for the, you know, big file type things.
Yeah. Well, what if we go into design now? I mean, my aunt has a 4S and she recently cracked her screen, and the current design is already 2 years old, so I really think that they're going to change.
Since the iPhone 4 WWDC 2011. It's quite an old phone if you think about it. The 4S already a year old in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so it's a few weeks. It'll be Steve Jobs' first since he died. A year since he died.
Yeah, would you believe it's nearly been a year? But still, keeping on topic. Hopefully they're going to put in Gorilla Glass, but the
new
is,
Gorilla Glass
Apple's
2.
More,
they might do the new Gorilla Glass 2 that was announced at CES this year.
Most likely, yeah. The thing is, with Apple, they're more aiming towards design and functionality of the OS, rather than having something that doesn't look as nice as it could, but it's like not going to crack as easily. If you've seen the Samsung Galaxy X cover, it's a phone by Samsung. It starts with gingerbread. I think it's going to be getting ice cream sandwich soon. But what it is, it's a phone that's waterproof, it's shockproof, dustproof. It's like an upgraded version of the Motorola Defy. And it's like the specs are, it's a mid-range phone, but it's just so ugly.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the screen is terrible, so if you want to have a phone that's well protected, it's going to be really ugly. But I'm sure someone like Pure Gear or Lifeproof, within a couple of weeks or maybe a month or two of the next generation iPhone coming out, there's going to be one of their new cases that will protect it from water and drops and cracks and dust and everything.
Yeah.
So not too much of an issue there. But if you've seen the duotone design, then maybe that's going to change something.
Well, talking of the duotone design, have you seen the one with the iPhone light? On the back, it's got the same band as the current iPhone with the around.
Yeah, similar. Yeah, so it's going to be like a stretched out iPhones with 2 colours. There's actually an iPhone 4S to iPhone 5 conversion kit.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, that design, I actually think that
it's quite funny.
Yeah. So did you see the new Kindles that were announced a couple of days ago?
Yeah, I did a post about it as well. I think we might be able to talk about that next episode. We want to stick to the iPhone this episode. But yeah, that's definitely a competitor to the iPad. That's something that if I was looking for a tablet, in a lot of cases I would probably choose that over the iPad.
Yeah,
to be honest.
It's got a lot on its shoulders.
iOS. Huh?
It's got a lot of weight on its metaphorical shoulders because of all the failure from the original Fire.
Yeah, the original Kindle Fire, they've doubled the RAM, they've made it 20% faster, and it's a lot cheaper now, so if you were thinking about getting it but didn't want to because it was such a failure, now is the time to. Otherwise, I'm not sure how it's going to perform. It's not even on sale yet. It's only going to be going on sale next month and the month after, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing a live stream, unfortunately, on Tuesday night for the event. It's 6 PM UK time, but
usually
hopefully, yeah, it's usually like 10 AM Cupertino time. It's in the Yerba Buena Arts Centre, somewhere that Apple's never really done a keynote. So
wasn't that where the original iPhone was announced?
Huh?
Wasn't that where the original iPhone was?
No, I don't think so, because they said they've never done an event there before.
Okay. Well,
but yeah.
Yeah. I've been
Okay, so we've spent 15 minutes talking about the iPhone. In a few minutes, because our target time is about half an hour to 40 minutes, in about 5 minutes we're going to start talking about GeekSlam itself and how we run it and everything, like we did in the beginning of the episode, like we mentioned.
Alright then.
And I'm just about to put out a tweet.
Yeah. I'll be live tweeting the event. Well, I might be. Oh.
Yeah, so will I. I tried to get a Cover It Live subscription, but they're fairly expensive. It's what Techno Buffalo uses for their live blogs. It's really good service, but it is really expensive. Like the BBC uses it. ITV sometimes use it as well.
Yeah.
So it is a good service, but it's too expensive for me, considering how many live blogs I don't do.
Yeah. If you don't know, BBC and ITV are two big TV companies here in the UK.
Yeah.
And they're
but otherwise, I'm going to be tweeting. I'm going to be making some recap videos afterwards. And yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I won't be getting an iPhone afterwards, but hopefully if the iPod range is good enough and the price is right, maybe I'll just be able to get something for myself. But either way, I'm going to try and get a hands-on video of something, or at least...
Talking of ITV, what do you think of... Have there been any new rumours of Apple releasing a TV screen recently?
Rumours have plummeted since WWDC, because beforehand they were like, yeah, Apple's going to release a TV set, like a proper box, not a box, but a TV maybe with a box or something. But that never happened. Honestly, WWDC was about the developers and helping them create better apps, because the Retina MacBook Pro, if you think about it, it is for developers to use. It's a perfect tool for them because it's so portable, so they can move it around the office or if they go on trips. It's really, really fast, so for making iOS apps and testing them out, you've got no problem there. The screen is quite big, so you could do a lot of renders in a good size on there. And yeah, and also they announced iOS 6 there, and I think that was when they gave Mountain Lion a release date or something.
Yeah, that was when Mountain Lion was given a release date. It was like a couple of days after.
So it was pretty much all about the developers there, and I can't believe people complained about Apple not releasing like an iPhone or a TV set, because it was about the developers, and that's what WWDC is for.
Well, before the 4S, before the 4S, WWDC was where the iPhone was announced.
Yeah, that's when the 3G, 3GS and the 4 was announced. But if you think about it, not only is the iPhone and the iPod Touch and the iPad a tool for developers, it's a tool for everyone, of course, but it is basically something that will help developers to make their own apps and their own software.
Yeah,
so
and it's the way they distribute it.
WWDC has always been about the developers.
Yeah, and iOS really is one of the ways they distribute their apps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking, because on the first gen iPhone keynote, when they released it, when they announced the iPhone, they said, Steve Jobs himself said, the iPhone runs Mac OS X Snow Leopard. So technically, what was iOS 1? Well, there was no iOS until iOS 3,
4.
because it was iPhone OS 1 and 2.
It was iPhone OS 3 as well.
Technically, it wouldn't have been iPhone OS at all. It would have been Snow Leopard for iPhone or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a kind of stupid thing to say, but I was just thinking about it. Think about it like that.
So, talking of iOS 6, the iPad 3 and the iPad 3 will be getting Siri, but
the iPad 2 won't, which is something that I've got and something that I can't get rid of any longer.
But
because I cracked the screen in the corner, so if I could sell it, I would have sold it for an Nexus 7 already, if I'm honest.
Okay. Well, the iPhone 3, the iPad 3 got Siri, but the iPod Touch 4th generation didn't. So what I think is, I'm thinking, all the rumours led to a new release at about, even when WWDC was, they said there were rumours that there was going to be a new iPod Touch at this event.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame Apple for doing, if they put Siri on the, if you've ever jailbroken and you've put like a Siri port, or at least someone's own version of Siri on an iPad 2 or an iPod Touch 4th gen or an iPhone 4, it runs so terribly. There's like a 3-second delay or a 4-second delay before it actually opens up Siri, and then it loads slowly and it doesn't connect to the internet properly. And that's not a problem with the servers, that's a problem with the iPhone itself. So, yeah.
Yeah, but that is I think that's mainly because it's not an official port of Siri. It's like made by third-party groups, not Apple
Yeah,
themselves.
but the iPad, the new iPad and the iPhone 4S currently are the only ones with the proper microphones that Apple's put in that are compatible with Siri, or at least they're good enough to work with Siri the way it should be. So the iPod Touch 4th Gen will probably have the same screen size as the next iPhone, so yeah.
I mean,
So we're going to stop talking about the iPhones now. We're going to talk about how we run the site. This is a question we get every so often, like in the YouTube comments and on the GeekSlam comments. So, yeah, Ashley, tell us, what is your involvement with the site, first of all?
well, right now...
How did you become involved with the site?
Well, right now I don't really do anything with GeekSlam, but I will be returning soon. And in the past I did a series about Windows applications, news, reviews, that sort of thing. And
yeah,
I will soon be returning for a involvement in GeekSlam Gaming that will come up any day soon.
Yeah, I did mention about GeekSlam Gaming when I launched it. I said it's not going to be very good for the first month or so because it's very hard, it's extremely hard to get gaming products in for review because a lot of these companies are very stubborn and they already have partners with people, you know, that are professional gamers. They spend all their time doing gaming and gaming blogging. Whereas with me, I do tech blogging and every so often I do gaming blogging. So that is why there's like no content on GeekSlam Gaming so far. But we're going to have some gameplays coming from Ashley. And maybe from me, I'm going to be doing some content like that. But yeah.
Well,
so
in gaming news... Go on.
Go on, no, you go on.
Well, in gaming news, recently, the only real gaming news I know is recently Ubisoft really announced an iOS port of Rayman.
Yeah, Rayman Oranges, I think.
Yeah, hold on, I'm just looking.
Rayman's Oranges. Tangerines. But yeah.
Rayman
so,
Jungle Run.
Yeah. Yeah. There is not much going on in gaming at the moment because the consoles are all 6 years old. Nothing's happening in PC gaming. So
I mean, the only new one is the Wii U.
The only news is from PAX, and I haven't been there because I haven't been able to go there. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna move away from talking about gaming now and talk about why I decided to launch the site. So anyone that has, you know, seen GeekSlam on the YouTube channel that we've got, it's actually my channel. I started December last year, and I started making some tech videos after being inspired by people like Quinn from That Snazzy iPhone Guy. I watched a lot of John Falakers, you know, Techno Buffalo. I still do. Unfortunately, the content they produce is a little over-edited, and it's not really as good as it used to be for me. But I still do like watching their content, reading their content as well. So there's a lot of people I used to watch, and I watch, I would say, at least like 50 tech reviewers, or maybe a little less than that. So I decided to start it for myself, you know, start doing it myself in December. I never thought it would go off the ground. I was actually going to only do like little 5-minute talk episodes from my iPad. But then I got a new phone, and what I did with that phone was I did an unboxing with my camera. It was terrible. It's one of the first videos on the channel. I think it's like number 3 or something. I'm just going to have a look through.
Well, one of the earlier videos. It was one of the earlier videos. Wasn't it the Nokia C203?
C202, yeah. So eventually, what happened was I got my netbook after. So yeah, that's the first video on the channel. There's a couple of them I deleted. So I did an unboxing and then a review, and then I did a couple of theme reviews for it from Mobile 9, which is a website. I did a little bit of CS coverage. I talked about like 1 or 2 products like the Lumia 900. Then I got my netbook only a couple of months. It must have been in like February or something. Okay, so I got it 15th January. I did a video on that with like some specs and stuff. And then eventually I could have improved my editing, but I still did it all from my iPad. So yeah, that happened. Eventually I started learning how to use it more, what software I could get, how I could get demos of the software instead of having to pay full price for them, and only, you know, learning to use them instead of paying the whole price for them. And then slowly I improved the channel. I got a couple of products in for review. I bought a couple as well with some money I had. I got one of my friends, Kumi, to start making videos. He's done 2 or 3. Ashley has always been a part of the channel. He only started like really making videos of Windows videos a couple of months ago.
We've always really worked together. Well,
huh?
Even before your channel started, we
had our own channel, which wasn't.
We sort of shared and it failed.
But yeah, but still, eventually, like the videos started to really improve. We got a lot more subscribers. We're nearly on 100 now, which is something I'm proud of.
I'm still on
about contacting more companies. I've got a couple of partnerships and contacts. And it must have been April the 20th when I started up the site. I made the domain GeekSlam. I made like Twitter and everything. On the 25th of April, I made the video when I'd kind of fine-tuned it a little. And then I started saying, hey guys, I'm Yoni here from GeekSlam in April. And that was that. I decided I wanted a blog. And one of the things I mentioned in that video was I don't really want to say to people, oh, go visit Yoni Tech or Yoni Tech Vid's blog, the blog, because no one really understood like how to spell it or understood what it was. Whereas if I say GeekSlam, the slam doesn't really mean anything. It was just a name that came to my head, and it was a free domain. That's the only reason I took it, really, because a lot of the good ones I came up with weren't free, so someone had taken them on YouTube and not used them or something like that. Yeah.
Well, you started off with your blog, and now you've got your .tk site, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a .tk link shortener. So if you want to go on .tk instead of .blogspot for GeekSlam, you can do that. But yeah, I started blogging. And
can I ask,
I'm really happy with it how it is. Go on.
Do your posts still go up on the blog .blogspot?
It's the same thing really. The .tk just goes as it's like a redirect to .blogspot, but instead of it changing the bar at the top to say .blogspot, it still says .tk as if it's a whole new website being hosted. But yeah, and I'm really happy so far with the way the channel's been in the past couple of months. I've got a lot of review products in. I've bought a lot of new products as well to review. And I've bought them and I've either returned them or I've kept them and plan to sell them. Yeah, I mean, I did have to take like a 2 or 3 week break to go on a trip I did in mid-July, so that kind of disrupted it. There was no content going up for 3 weeks. Even though I was away for 2 weeks, it still stopped the channel and the blog's productions. So that was quite a shame. We did lose like 5 or 10 subscribers, but we've got them all back now. We have got, I'm just about to check, we've got something like 90 now. So we're really close to 100. We're on 90 subscribers right now, which is something I'm really happy with.
Whereas I'm on about 20 on my personal channel.
Yeah, he's got a channel, Ashley's got a channel called Ashley's Apps where he reviews apps. It's not bad. Could do with some improvements, I've told him, but there's nothing wrong with his videos, really. A lot better than some other fat 12-year-olds on YouTube that do it. I mean, I'm not saying Ashley's a fat 12-year-old, he's not. He's a normal weight 15-year-old, or whatever.
14.
14. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way that the blog and the channel's going so far. When I get something like 100 or 150 subscribers, and a certain amount of views per day, like 400 or something, I get to get partnership with a network that I'm quite friendly with. I speak to one of the guys that founded it all the time, and he said he founded the network because he was unhappy with the way YouTube networks were, and he wanted to have more personal contact with YouTubers himself. So yeah, I'm not going to say the network's name just yet, but that's that.
So surprise coming up.
Literally 50 seconds away from the target time. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Because you haven't really been able to talk. I haven't let you get a word in.
Yeah, well, not really. What can we expect on GeekSlam? Apart from my GeekSlam gaming coming up, put it that way.
Well, I'm quite excited for the keynote, mainly because I actually get to go outside for once. The fact that I named GeekSlam is because I'm a big geek myself, and geeks don't really go outside. I go out a lot more than most geeks do, but afterwards I will be able to go outside on a trip to the Apple Store, and I'll bring my camera. I'll get to test out all the new products.
I'll probably do a vlog from
on
that
the
as
blog.
well on my second channel.
Yeah, maybe we'll go with each other. I mean, we know each other personally. We're friends with each other.
We've gone up to the local Apple Store a lot together before, or a couple of times before.
Yeah, we've done that before. If you saw our Galaxy S3 hands-on or our PS Vita.
There's a vlog on your second channel when we went.
Yep, we did a Mac Pro stress test together. That was really fun.
Yeah.
Crashing the Mac Pro and running away from the Apple Store. But
Yeah,
I'll be able to test out the Apple products, the new ones coming out. We'll make sure to get some content going up. Thank you all very much for watching.
Thank you for watching
to episode 1 of GeekSlam Podcast. I do apologise for the terrible audio and everything. I'm going to try and sync it all up later on once I've got Ashley's clip of the audio. It's going to be difficult, but hopefully we're going to get some kind of streaming going on or whatever. I'm going to get some more guests coming onto the show, so other YouTubers, some people that read or watch the blog, hopefully. And we'll be getting a new microphone as soon as I have the money for one. Not something I usually mention, but things on Amazon, the prices have just gone up so much, and it's not very easy for a 14-year-old who spends his whole life on the internet to get money. Anyway, thank you all very much for listening. Hopefully I'll be able to get this on iTunes in a month or so. Right now it's going to stay on the blog and it's going to stay on YouTube, just so it's easier for me to do. Thank you all, and Ashley, do you have anything to say?
Thank you for watching. My personal channel, if you're interested, is youtube.com/Ashley'sApps. Yoni's channel is pretty obvious if you're listening to this. Thank you for watching, and bye.
So yeah, this is going up on GeekSlam TV channel, or actually the GeekSlam Podcast channel, I forgot. So don't forget to subscribe to that. Also check out geekslampodcast.blogspot.com. Obviously all these links are going to be available for you in the description, so you don't have to type it. And yeah, see ya. Bye. Peace. Say peace.